Hello and welcome to Blimey TV. I'm sitting here after Carlisle have just lost at home to Forest Green 2-1, and what absolute heartbreak that was. It was, we brought on a triple sub at one point, we scored, and it looked like everything was going back up for us again. And then Forest Green get, quite frankly, a pretty dodgy free kick on the edge of the area, and it's an amazing free kick, there's no saving it, and it's just disappointing really because Forest Green is a team that we've had such good success against in the past. Obviously in past seasons, and this season they've done the double over us for home and away, and it's really disappointing. And really, I don't know what I was expecting because this team's great, but I don't think there's any team in the world that can play that we can have 5 weeks off while the rest of the league is playing and then get thrown back into two extremely difficult games like that and not look a little bit rusty. Obviously the win in Exeter, that was great. I personally thought we would lose at Exeter and beat Forest Green. It's happened the other way around, so 3 points from them two games is what I was expecting. But obviously people use the argument of games in hand, but you've got to win those games in hand, and who are those games in hand against? Newport County, who since the fixture we were meant to play them on, where they were weakened, they've bought pretty much an entirely new squad. So we will be playing them probably at the height of their powers instead of when we were meant to be playing them, when we fairly should have played them. And look, I'm not going to lie, I am bitter, alright, because we've been beat by 2 set pieces. We looked poor, and even after we've scored such a great goal, great work from Joe Riley, and it's a very easy finish for Gimme Toure. But you've got to be there to make that finish. That's what people forget. It looks like a tap in, but he has to make the run to get in there, which people need to. It's not such a tap in as what people might think. Gimme Toure played really well when he came on, but and so did all of our subs, to be fair. But you look at half time, them subs should have been made a hell of a lot earlier. John Mellish in the first half looked really, really off the pace. I don't know what he was doing at times. There was an incident that stuck out to me was, he had 2 passes. He can either go left or right. Both passes is a really good opportunity. He just needs to pick. He does neither. Takes a heavy touch, and then fouls the man trying to get the ball back and absolutely wastes an opportunity for us. And then he should have been taken off at half time. Personally, I think. Maybe put Brennan Dickinson or Taylor Charters on instead, but. It's one of those results where you're expected to slip up against some of the big teams, I suppose. It's not a game where it's the end of the world if we lose, because we're still, we're 3 points off top with 3 games in hand. And I know I can say that as much as I want, but we need to win those games in hand for them games in hand to mean anything. Because, we win them, we're 6 points clear, but there's no. With the mass amount of fixtures we've got to play, we're playing Tuesday, Saturday for the entire month now, and I should assume next month as well, because of the, shambolic decision making of the FA and just poor pitches in this league. I think, look, we didn't play well today, and Forest Green deserved to win. But there's nothing that can be said about the referee, and not so much. The referee was poor, especially at the end of the game. But so was the 4th official. What was he doing? He didn't put the board up to show the numbers at the end of the match. So the referee didn't know how many minutes were added on. And so the game just kept getting played, and the 4th official didn't do anything. He just kind of stood there thinking, "Oh God, what should I do now? Should I put the numbers up? Nah, I'll do it later." And that's what he was thinking. And the referee's there in the middle thinking, "Oh wait, come on. 90 minutes is finished here. How many are we adding on?" And he keeps playing until, it's 7. I doubt that there was not 7 minutes of injury time that needed to be played there. I wanted there to be 7 minutes, but there wasn't. And we played them. Zanzalo had a really good chance that the keeper saved. Easily could have been a goal. Gimme Toure, although I said he played well, he missed an absolute sitter. He just needs to head it into the back of the net. It's pretty much an open net. He hits it onto the post. And it's so frustrating, this result. It's it's really, really frustrating for us, and I'm sure the players will be frustrated. I think Mellish should probably be dropped for next game, either for Brennan Dickinson or for Taylor, or maybe even Dean Furman. We haven't seen Dean Furman play in a bit, and every time he has played, he's looked all right. Nothing. He's not looked, you know, sensational, but he's been a solid defender and solid midfielder in there, which John Mellish wasn't today. He wasn't last week either. And I think he's been out of form for a bit now. He had that obviously he had that amazing run, and he's our top goal scorer this season. And maybe that's the problem, because obviously Luis Alessandro started racking up the goals as well. But a midfielder that went on one good run at the start of the season is still our club's top goal scorer. And maybe the player like Zanzala will come good, and we'll get, maybe Zanzala will be great and he'll go on this amazing goal scoring run for us. Or maybe Shedwin Scott will do that. Who knows? Or maybe one of the strikers we've already got on the pitch, week in week out. Luis Alessandro has looked the most threatening recently. Obviously not today. I liked Chris Beech's triple sub because I thought it sent a message, and it did work. I thought it was a really good decision, taking Mellish out and obviously changing up the front three a bit. And it made an instant impact, because then Joe Riley went on that amazing run, and we looked better from that. But then we conceded a sloppy free kick on the edge of the area, which, to be fair, I don't know if it was a free kick, but he shouldn't be given that opportunity anyways to even dive in that area of the pitch. It's an excellent free kick, there's no stopping that. Farman couldn't have stopped it, and speaking of Farman, I thought he had a really good game today. It could have been 3 or 4 with some of the shots he saved, and I think, we talk about, it's only 2-1, it's not the end of the world, but it could have been 4-1 with 2 big opportunities that Farman saved. And I've given Farman a lot of stick in the past, but he had a really good game today. He's probably my man of the match. He had a few dodgy moments towards the start of the first half where he punched when he should have caught, maybe in a few instances, but he made some excellent saves and really made up for it, and he was a really good player. And I think it's frustrating now. Callum Guy, probably our most consistent and best player this season, makes the mistake that leads to the penalty. It can't be helped. Look, we're obviously a side coming back from a long break that Forest Green haven't had. They've been playing week in, week out. They have the fitness, we don't. And we have a lot more packed schedule than any other club at the moment. We've come into a lot of bad luck here. I think that can't be underestimated. And saying that, I don't want us to sit here and feel sorry for ourselves, because we can't afford to do that. We can sit here and say, oh, well, it was because of this, because of that. We can't make excuses, because we are going for the promotion this season, and we're still in a very good position to do that. But for the time being, I don't know where we are in the table. The table is so close at the moment. We could be down to 7th, we could be 3rd. Who knows? There's been some good results going our way at the moment. Some of the top sides are really slipping up at the moment, but I think that game probably should have ended in a draw. It didn't. They got the 3 points. What can you do? Chris Beech needs to tell them, we can't make excuses here. You can sit there and feel sorry for yourself saying with all the matches being called off and that, but it wasn't good enough today, and it needs to be better next week. And that's all I'm going to say on that. See you next week, in a bit.